Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Cowboys Storyline with Nick Eatman.
What is up, and welcome to Cowboys Storyline. I'm Nick Eatman. It's Tuesday, August the 27th, and we can scratch one of the things off the list. Cowboys have or will sign CeeDee Lamb. I'm sure everybody knows this by now. He's making a lot of money. We knew that was going to happen. What did I say last week? Tony Dorsett? Well, I was wrong. It's Herschel Walker. $34 million per season, and that seemed to always be the big sticking point. But one of them, because there's other factors there. $100 million guaranteed. I think that's the most for, or $39 million signing bonus, which is the most for any wide receiver. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. He'll be here for 5 years. It's this year plus a 4-year extension. And if you're looking at the math, it's kind of weird because everyone wants to know what this average per year is, and it's $34 million. But when you look at the next 5 years, when you add this one, I think the total, it's about $30 million. Apparently that doesn't matter. It's what is the new money, the extension, and it's going to average $34 million. I guess that's right under Justin Jefferson. Now the big question, when does he come in? When does he sign? I don't believe as of Tuesday here at 10 a.m., I don't believe that he's here yet, but obviously he will be, and they'll get that done, knocked out. And so, and now that the attention can shift to, is Dak next, or the season, obviously coming up here in less than 2 weeks. But I still feel like that Dak will be done before the season starts as well. But that's just my hunch. Who knows? All right. 888-855-2297. Oh, and if that's not enough, they're also cutting the roster down even more today. So if you're watching this live, we're doing this live. If you're watching this later on Tuesday, obviously the cuts will be made at 3 o'clock. They'll trim the roster down to 53 players. I believe we're sitting at 74, I believe. 74, 75 players on the roster after they cut the 15 yesterday. No major surprises out of that, really. Willie Harvey, Eric Scott, Junior Fehoko, who I think will be in Washington probably by the end of the day. I would imagine Dan Quinn would want him back. But no big surprises there. There will be some today, though, in how they cut the roster down. And then tonight, it will be a night practice at the Star if you're in the area here and around Frisco to come watch the Cowboys practice tonight, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night at the Star. Wednesday's practice will probably be a little bit more, there'll be more players there because some of the practice squad guys that they bring back will be there. So, all right, let's get to the callers. Let's get it started. Jeremy in Salt Lake City, Utah. Jeremy, you're first.
Hey, what's up, Nick?
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm good. Just glad that we got CD done. I knew it had happened, just like we talked about last week. Everybody can calm down now a little bit, right?
A little bit, yeah.
And I'm ready, like you said, I'm ready to get focused on the season. We got big games coming up. We've got, I think we'll get a pretty good gauge of this team, by the bye week. I want to talk a little bit about the Deron Bland injury. So, obviously, huge bummer. Nobody wants him to get hurt, or any of our players to get hurt, or anybody else's for that matter. But I think one of the things that we can always, like I said, I'm always trying to look at the positive, right? And I think this is going to give an opportunity for guys like Kalen Carson, some of these younger cornerbacks to get reps just like Deron did, you know what I mean? Just like last year when Diggs went down. It offers an opportunity for these younger players to get these reps in, and special reps, and then by the time we get Deron back, we'll be in the thick of the season. And these are the kind of injuries I like to say they're kind of blessings in disguise. You know what I mean? because, like I said, we can develop some of our younger talent like we did with the offensive line last year. I think if you didn't have some of these guys go down, with Zach Martin kind of getting dinged up and everything last year, I don't think Brock Hoffman's as good as he was this year. I don't think Bass made some big strides last year with guys being out. So, it is the next man up thing, and, everybody's upset about the all-in, and we like our guys and all that kind of stuff. But really, you've got to look at it, in a positive way and say, everybody's got injuries. Thank God it wasn't for the full season, right? Thank God he's going to be back, and when he does, that's going to give this team a boost right around the time we're going to need one.
All right. Yep. All right, Jeremy, thanks for the call. A little long-winded there, but appreciate it. Good start. And the thing about it is, a blessing in disguise. We'll see. I mean, you say that now, and then if one of these young corners is chasing Amari Cooper into the end zone for a touchdown, what is the blessing on that? I mean, we'll see. I mean, I hear that's a very optimistic approach. That we'll let's let Kalen Carson go out there and play. He'll be the next Theron Bland. If that's the case, kudos to Will McClay and the Cowboys for drafting him when they did, and he does look like a pretty good player, a good prospect. But the Zach Martin stuff, that was a holdout last year that Hoffman and Bass got to get all these reps. Zach Martin, who was entering his 10th season, or comes in and says, "Oh, I'm ready to play," and then he makes another Pro Bowl. Like that was fine. He didn't miss anything. We're talking about Theron Bland missing 4 games at the minimum, maybe 5 or 6. So, and then that bye week is sitting around there too. Which the bye week, when you're talking about an injury, it always seems to be like what's so much easier to just run the player up right into the bye. Then he gets another week, and then he comes back. So maybe he'll be back before that. But look for Theron Bland to go to injured reserve today. They'll move him to IR. That'll definitely be a 4-week thing. Then he can come back from that. Chuma Edoga might be another guy that they put on that list. All right, but overall, good optimistic stuff. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that the Cowboys, it's doom and gloom. I'm just saying it's the blessing in disguise is something that you talk about after the fact. As the season's starting and you look at some of these teams that you have to face, and you don't know what Trayvon Diggs can do right now as far as 100%. Is he ready to go back? That right there, I think you have to kind of hold your breath a little bit about the cornerback position. And then that being said, our text message here, we don't do a lot of text message, but Dan from Philly's probably the best one we've got. He sends one about, not that he's done much. I'm surprised Eric Scott was cut yesterday, especially with the lack of depth at corner. Are you concerned about corner? Yes. Especially now because of the Bland injury? Yes. Too bad Gilmore signed with Minnesota. Gilmore signed for about $7 million. That's this price. I mean, what do you think it was 4 months ago, 3 months ago? I'm sure it was a lot higher than that. So, you wouldn't have signed Gilmore for that money, for what you have. You have Diggs back. You had Bland. You like Carson. You've got Jordan Lewis. You wouldn't have signed him. And so that's just, that's a team that has the money that they went out and did that. And then his past player is Cliff Harris, Captain Crash, 43. And he was a stud. I don't have a lot of stories on him. I didn't really cover him at all, but I know that he was a fan favorite for sure. And a great athlete. I mean, he really was. It really was a great athlete. And back there, him and Charlie Waters, those two were outstanding. As far as the cornerback go, Eric Scott, he didn't make any plays. I mean, he really didn't. I mean, he got an interception in the first game. I'll take that back. He got an interception in the first game. Ball was thrown right to him. He just didn't really do a whole lot. And I think that they'll probably try to get him back on the practice squad, just to keep developing him. All right, Lewis in Langston, Oklahoma. Lewis.
What's going on?
How you doing?
Not much. I want to just go and give my congrats to CD and the Cowboys for making this happen.
Yeah.
And can't wait to see DaRon Bland get back. Hopefully he gets better. Now, I'm not nowhere near the world-class athlete. I played NAIA football and redshirted, then I couldn't get my grades together. So I was looking at, as far as like I was a running back. So I was looking at the running back room and trying to figure out the numbers. Now, I'm not saying they're going to sign Cook, but say they do sign Cook, what number are we setting on? 4, 5 running backs? Who's out? Like, I like Malik Davis, but I don't think he's making enough impact to stay. And I love me some Deuce Vaughn, but like, he's the only change of pace back from the other running back. So I kind of feel like he has a little leg up. But like, if you do decide to bring in Cook, who's the odd man out? Would it be Royce Freeman? And if you do cut Royce Freeman, I would like to try to keep someone like him on the practice squad, because say Zeke or Rico Dowdle gets hurt, you could just move him up and he could be the big rock toter like those guys. So I just was kind of counting the numbers, and I'm like, I outside of, and then like you said, Hunter Lipke, tight end / fullback / running back sometimes. I mean, so I'm trying to figure out the numbers when it comes to that. And like always, I ain't gonna hold you too long. I'll take it off air and I'll listen, and I'll talk to you when I get a chance.
All right, thank you, Lewis. Yeah, Dalvin Cook. Just another thing that's happening. They bringing him in today for a workout. I think Tyrus Bowser, a defensive end, is also going to be working out. Not too concerned with that just yet. Don't know how serious that visit is. I say for a workout. It's for a visit for sure with Dalvin Cook. Not sure that he'll be working out. Don't know how the details of that. And I don't know how serious the Cowboys are to actually signing him. They're going to see how things go, and maybe what the price tag looks like, and what kind of shape he's in, and all that. He could be on the practice squad. Like, he's not on a team, so you could sign him to your practice squad if you want to, until he gets himself ready to play. So I don't know if they did sign Dalvin Cook, it would be, I know that sounds weird, practice squad, but then he's also out of a job. So like that, he would have a job by being on the practice squad. So that's kind of how that would work, in my opinion, if they wanted to bring him in. So don't get too worried about all this stuff and who's the odd man out and all that. I think when the cuts are cut today, I think the running backs on the roster are going to be Zeke, Rico, and Deuce Vaughn. That's what I think. I think they would release. I don't know how you keep Malik Davis, and Royce Freeman, I think, is another practice squad type candidate. So those would be the guys that I think they would cut. And if they wanted to bring in Dalvin Cook, they could put him on the practice squad until he's ready to play. And then if he's ready to play, then they got decisions they can make. All right, Bob in Rio Grande Valley. Bob, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. The previous caller just asked the questions that I had for you.
It's okay.
But I have one more, and then I'll get off here and let you get somebody else on.
Thank you.
What's the salary cap look like now that we have finally got CD signed?
For this year?
Yeah.
You got me on that one. I'll be honest with you. I haven't. Here's the thing. I never really worry about what the cap looks like and how much is left on the cap and all that stuff, because it is so fluid. It can change with anything. They can trigger a contract here and get you $10 million, or they're also trying to push as much as they can. So it doesn't matter what they have available. They're trying to push as much as they can to next year as well. So I'd just be lying if I just threw out some number, because I really don't think they can do whatever they want to do. They can do it. And they'll tell you that they can't, but they can figure out ways to do it. That's why I have never racked my brain about trying to figure out what the salary cap looks like, because they don't tell you a number. So if you see it on some website that says they're 37 million, whatever, you got to remember all the stuff that they're factoring in. That they have to pay. So, these websites aren't factoring in what a practice squad costs, what it costs to bring up 2 elevated players every single week. That costs $5 million just like that. So and the extra 2 guys on your roster. So there's a lot going to it, and I'd be lying if I gave you a number. I really don't. But I'm saying they can go do whatever they want to do. So if that's what you're asking, do they have money to spend for someone? They can do whatever they want, and they can sign Dak.
One other thing before I get off here, I don't think that this Dalvin Cook is the answer in the running back room. And as I stated last week, I don't think that our bell cow running back is going to be on this team until maybe midseason. And with that, I'll let you go, and thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Thanks, Bob, for the call. I don't know if Dalvin Cook is the answer either. You bring a player like this in at this time, just like they've done with some other guys. I mean, on the other side of the ball, Linval Joseph is expected to sign today at some point, but Carl Lawson, they brought him in and off the couch, and of course they traded for Jordan Phillips, so he's been on a team. But some of these guys that you're bringing in, they're veteran guys. It's going to take them a little bit to sign, and it's not by accident. These guys aren't trying to go to training camp, and put a CD in that. I mean, is it a coincidence that training camp's over and now they're signing CD? I mean, I just think that this is the part of the year where you're starting to see some of these moves. Again, don't rule out the part that favors are done sometimes in the league for agents, for players, so let's work, because if you work out a player and he comes in for a visit or you work him out, it goes on the wire to everybody in the league. And so sometimes, I'm not saying that that's a situation here. I'm just saying that just because you're bringing in a guy doesn't mean that you're so close to signing him. It's just for look-see. It's for down the road. Just like Bob just said, the bell cow for running back is maybe down the road. So that's what you're doing. You're just looking at seeing these guys. Oh yeah, he looked pretty good. Do we want to sign him? No, not right now. We're good. But if we have an injury, if somebody goes down, we need to know what we've got in some of these other players. And so that's sometimes what these visits are. They're not necessarily for now. They could be for a month down the road or whatever. All right, let's go to Tim in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Tim.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Can we just get this thing started? Can we just get the season started now? I'm excited.
Let's do it. Let's just go.
Yeah. Excited about this team. Some of the things that concerned me last year, we've addressed. And the main thing with me was the physical aspect of the game, and just being physically and mentally tough. Now, I know it's only the preseason, but I like that we seem to have stopped the run and run the ball this preseason. Now, I know we're going against 2s and 3s, but I like the progression of this team. I like the direction they're headed in. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like it too. I like the direction, and I'm with you about this is the time, this is the time of year where you're just getting anxious. You're antsy. You want to get this thing started. And this is going to be a long couple weeks too. I mean, there's nothing happening. After the cuts today, there'll be a few little things here and there, but nothing really going on. And then we got this weekend, and then they'll have they'll have a Labor Day practice like on Monday, have their off day Tuesday, and then they'll get to work Wednesday. I mean, it's like a regular week. Wednesday the 4th, I guess, September the 4th. So we still got about a week before it's kind of in this no man's land type stuff, and then by next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, it'll be like a regular week. I mean, it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, travel on Saturday for Cleveland, play the Browns. on Sunday. Man, that sounds good, though, that we are, 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away from playing football. But I hear what you're saying about being, excited about this. That's what being a football fan is. I mean, really, if you're not, if you're not excited about the team, then they didn't do that great of a job. The team didn't do a great job in the offseason, and you can make that argument. If you're not excited about this team, that's fine. But it also comes down to your expectations. I see this team. I see the schedule. I see the injuries that they have and the limitations and all of that. And I think this is going to be a team fighting for wins every single week. I think it's going to come down to a lot of close games. And I that being said, I like the fact that you've got a veteran quarterback who's been around for a while. I like that you have a pretty good kicker, because those games are going to come down to that too. And then you got some defensive players that can go win games. You got a defensive player that can go dominate a game, and especially if you need to, and go make a play to win the game. So, but it's going to be close. I think they're going to be hovering at that, 9-8, 10-7, 11-6, maybe. It's going to be, but that's fun to me. That's going to be fun. Every game is going to be a battle, and it'll definitely be an interesting one. All right, let's go to break real quick here on StoryLine. I'll be right back, and we'll take more texts and phone calls.
Are you the 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year? The Dallas Cowboys and Captain Morgan are celebrating extraordinary, inspiring, and original fans. Nominate yourself or the biggest Cowboys fan you know for a chance to be named the 2024 Fan of the Year and win prizes, including a trip to Super Bowl 59. Visit DallasCowboys.com/Fan of the Year. Go Cowboys!
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
All right, starting tonight, you can watch the Dallas Cowboys practice during back-to-back nights of training camp presented by American Airlines at the Star in Frisco. Training camp kicks off tonight with Cowboys night and concludes with a second night of open practice tomorrow. Training camp is free, open to the public. Visit DallasCowboys.com/training camp for more info. All right, good stuff. Let's get to the phone lines. Go back to the phone lines. We got Rick in Webster, Massachusetts. Rick.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Rick?
All right. Just a quick, what positions you can think they're going to be insured at, like tight end or, I was going to say tight end or corner or like that, or probably not corner, but
repeat
what
that
position
for me. What position is what going to happen?
What positions you think they'll go short on?
Short. Oh, okay. Oh, that is a good question. Because I was trying to cut the roster down myself just for fun, and I didn't feel comfortable about any of the positions, because like maybe safety is 4. Is that short? I don't know about that. Running back at 3, tight end at 3. Again, these aren't considered short. They're just not going to be long. It's not long. I mean, like wide receiver, I don't think they cut Ryan Flanoy. There's you're not going to get him back to the practice squad. He's caught 2 touchdowns in games. He's a young player from a small school. He's starting to pick it up. I don't think you cut Flanoy. If you cut Flanoy, then why did you draft him? That's the way I look at it. Like, why did you draft him from Southeast Missouri State, knowing that he was going to need more reps, and then you're developing for someone else? I don't think so. I wouldn't do that. So that's a position that'll be 6 if Flanoy makes it. And I'm just assuming Jalen Brooks is on the team. He's I don't know why he would be. So I'm thinking 6 receivers there. So short, maybe offensive line has 9. Sometimes I've seen 10 there. So, and linebacker could be one where they go 5 linebackers, maybe 6. So, but we'll see. I mean, and again, don't ever say final roster. Like people say that all the time. Final roster cuts. No, nothing's final. I mean, guy's going to get cut. Guy's going to make the team tonight. There will be a player that makes the team today and will practice tonight. And he's like, oh, he's good. He made it. He'll get cut on Wednesday when they claim someone else. It's just the nature of the business. So there's nothing final about really anything. All right. Let's go to Michael in North Carolina. Hey, Michael.
Hey.
Michael in North Carolina. I mean,
hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you? It's not Michael Jordan. Okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I had to ask. Yeah.
I've talked to you a couple times, but over the years here, I've just got one question really today.
Okay.
About Trey Lance. They're saying that you don't make the same mistakes and that his potential is really good. Why don't they get like somebody like John Kitna or somebody like that to work with him during the offseason instead of him not getting a lot of reps, where they can really work with him on his accuracies?
Well, I mean, because they think that their quarterbacks coach, Scott Tolzien, is a good teacher of quarterbacks too. I mean, that's why. I mean, they feel like he is their quarterbacks coach. I mean, he is their quarterbacks coach, and they feel like he's the guy to develop them.
Right, but how much time does he have to spend with him during the season? While the season's going on.
You mean hire like another guy to come in like now, like as a consultant?
Right. Just for him to work with him on his accuracy.
Well, the question I'd have is, what's he going to do next year? Like, who are you signing him? Right now, are you signing him for whatever the money is? Are you going to bring him back next year, Trey Lance? I'm asking you, Michael. I'm asking you, if you're the GM, are you signing Trey Lance right now for years after this?
Well, I mean, if they think that accuracy is the only thing that's wrong with him, yeah. I mean, if the money's right, I wouldn't give a lot for him.
Yeah, no. And that's what's tricky about this is because are you going to invest money to try to develop him, and then you're not going to sign him, and now you're just helping someone else? You just developed them for someone else, So
right.
That's this whole thing. It's so difficult. It's probably the most complicated I've ever seen from the quarterback position because everything's a domino. What happens with Dak? Is Dak signed? Tell me that. And if he is Trey Lance your backup? Because if that's the case, Trey Lance should develop into your backup. I think he can do that. But right now, I don't want him to be backup this year. I don't think you do either. I mean,
no.
You said you don't make the same mistake twice. He made 5 of them. So made a few.
But different scenario on each one of them.
Sure. But he's late with the throw. He's not processing it well, so it's not. They're connected a little more than you think. It wasn't 5 different plays. I mean, but then again, he's got some talent as well. That's it's just unmatched. So he's a project. He's tough. He's tough to figure out for sure.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If they really think that he can become a starting quarterback, it looks to me like that they would try to get somebody to come in and work with him so he's getting plenty of work. But also, I know it's his contract year too. No other team's going to come in there and give much money for him either. I mean, nobody's going to pay him a lot.
I wouldn't think so, but then again, I've been shocked at the quarterback position and what happens and what these teams are paying for. Carson Wentz kept getting deals, and it surprises me sometimes from that. So who knows? You got to remember, there's 32 teams evaluated Trey Lance. One of them drafted him 3rd overall, and then one of them traded him to the Cowboys. So there's really been 2 teams that's gotten a chance to work with him. There may be a team out there, a GM, a quarterback coach, a head coach that said, we love this guy. I would do him. This is how I would use him. And who knows? Maybe there is somebody that has a different plan for him. The weird thing is, so he ran that touchdown, 46-yard touchdown, and it was kind of easy. I mean, he just got around the corner and he just outran everyone. And I was like, wow, that hadn't seen that often. And so I looked it up and I realized that actually, if that was a regular season game, that would have been the longest run, not touchdown, the longest run in the history of the Cowboys franchise by a quarterback, 46 yards. I was surprised. I was surprised that nobody hadn't ripped off a run that far. And honestly, I have to go back and find this, but I could have sworn Troy Aikman had like a 50-yard run in a preseason game his rookie year in preseason. Not that we keep preseason records or anything like that, because if so, I said Maher. Who's our kicker here? Aubrey, 66-yarder. I mean, that would have been a record too. My point is that a 46-yard run by the quarterback would have been the longest run you've ever seen in Cowboys history. That's just what he can do. That's one thing he brings to the table. He also threw 5 picks in the game. So, it happens. All right, Seth in Sugar Land, Texas. Seth.
Nick, I've been waiting my whole life for this conversation. First-time caller, long-time listener.
All right, let's go. Chris, here we go. What happens is he's on the phone, he's getting another call. Finally gets his, here we go. It's kind of, sorry. Seth, Seth,
I'm sure you remember this, Nick, but the original Here We Go was actually done by Tony Romo when the center was Phil Costa. And whenever Romo was ready to snap the ball fast, he would say, "Let's go, Phil!" And then Phil Costa would snap the ball, and then it was entirely chaos about what might happen after Costa snapped the ball, which is one of my favorite memories about Romo.
Yes.
I had 2 things for you. One, I'm going to call my shot now. I'm going to say the Cowboys go 12-5, win the division. Then they go up to San Francisco, play in the NFC Championship game, win the game 27-21. Calling it now. Just put it down.
27-21 in San Francisco, huh?
That's right. 2 big field goals by Aubrey are going to win the whole thing. Very excited about it.
You realize that if Montana's pass had gone over Dwight Clark's head like he was probably trying to, and the catch in 81, and they don't score a touchdown, the Cowboys hold it. They win 27-21 there, because I believe that was the score of the game until that happened. That's probably.
So you get it. You can feel the karma roiling around this situation. But so I also wanted to say, I'm a professional writer too,
I thought you were going to say wrestler. I really thought.
I am a professional wrestler.
I thought that would have been really cool, because writing that's not cool. There's nothing cool.
Right, we are not cool people.
Dang it. Okay.
But I'm a professional writer too, and I'm a big admirer of your storytelling style, especially in If These Walls Could Talk. And so what I wanted to ask you, I've been wanting to ask you for several years, because I've been listening, for a long, long time. But I wanted to ask you, where did you develop your journalistic / storytelling style, and if there were any mentors that you would want to thank when you had the opportunity? And that's it, and I'll get off, and thanks for taking my call, Nick. You're the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Man, Seth from Sugar Land, Texas. He needs a call back. He's got a lot of energy. I like it. Man, where did I develop that? See, it's funny. One thing that I'm really proud of with this show is, and this sounds like I'm 9 years old, but I love it, is that my mom and my dad watch every single show. And not together, but different parts of the state. They both watch it. They watch this show, and they probably have a different answer than me. But where did I develop storytelling? I was doing this. The thing about it is, I was doing this as a kid. I was writing stories. I would make up stories. I would write about what I saw on TV. And also, I was reading the newspapers. I was reading Sports Illustrated. I was reading the Dallas Cowboy Weekly. I had it cut up and put it, in a scrapbook. And so I just whoever was writing about, whether it be Sports Illustrated or the Weekly or just even the newspapers, it was kind of probably just a combination of everybody's style and this weird imagination that I have in my head. So it's just kind of a collection of everything. But thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. And thank you for saying that about the book, If These Walls Could Talk, which I have copies available if anyone wants to buy them. All right, here we go. Sebastian, Savannah, Georgia. Sebastian, what's up?
How we doing this morning, sir?
Good. How are you?
Everything's going all right. Big shout out to the guys who worked on the Marion Barber storyline. That was amazing. And that moment when Tashard Choice, he made a thought. He really brought something to my heart and just snatched the heart right out of my chest when he said, "I didn't know my dog was old." In that moment, I didn't know he had long to live. Man, that sent me reeling. That was an amazing thing.
Yeah.
I just want to share one of my favorite memories, or two of my favorite memories about Marion Barber.
Mm-hmm.
It was during Hard Knocks. Whole team's out partying. He's at the house playing the piano. And when he was trying to show, I think it was Felix Jones, how to block a linebacker, and he put the linebacker on his butt, nobody could bust a linebacker like Marion Barber. He was a tough guy, and he clearly touched a lot of people. So that was great.
Yes. First of all, the documentary is amazing. They did an awesome job with that. That story you're talking about with the linebacker, though, on Hard Knocks, so there's a little more to that. And I think his number 58, I think his name was Thierry George, if I remember correctly. I think that was his name. He actually knocked Marion Barber to the ground the play or the drill before that. And everybody, this is Marion the Barbarian. I mean, this is the Pro Bowler. And how could this happen? And so everybody was kind of laughing and yelling and, oh, my God, this happened. And Marion was like, oh, okay, all right, we'll do it again. And he made sure it lined up perfectly so he would do it again and go up to him. And he knocked him out. Like Marion won that one.
He had a vendetta.
So the thing about that is that story was actually – that was Marion's like revenge on that guy. So yeah, I mean, but it's a sad story. Number one, and just to hear, you know, the family. Anytime you hear, you know, a parent's talking about losing a child, I mean, it shouldn't work that way, right? That's the way it's supposed to be, and so it's sad, but it was very the guys that told the story, the one that got me was Patrick Creighton, because I've known Patrick Creighton since he got here, and he good luck getting a tear out of him, or that's just not his nature. That's not who he is. He's just blunt and he tells you like it is, and for him to kind of have a quivering lip a little bit there. That I knew it hit home, and so that team they did an amazing job of telling that story. And
Absolutely.
I thought it was one that was going to be very tough to do, and it was tough. They had their challenges to do that, and they did a great job. So if you haven't seen it, Barber, do what you love, which is a quote from him. You didn't find a lot of quotes on Marion Barber, but that's the one thing that he said right before a game. Love what you do what you love. And great stuff. So anyway, sorry, Sebastian, I know you have another question.
Hey, listen, you guys never cease to amaze me over there, and what you do is fantastic.
Thank you.
My only other thing that I had was, it's funny that we can catch the ball, but we can't catch a break in the secondary. It seems like every single time we're set up to have a great secondary with the cornerbacks going, Diggs goes down, you have a phenomenal season by Deron Bland, and then all of a sudden you lose Stephen Gilmore with the arm injury. We're getting back. I'm super excited to see what the secondary could do with Bland and Diggs together, and then my boy Bland goes down, so I'm wishing him a speedy recovery. Thoughts and prayers go, because I know it's a very stressful thing coming into this season, especially. I think this is a contract season for him as well. So I hope he gets better fast, and when he gets back to the field, he doesn't push it too hard, and he just comes out like he was the last time he was there. But thank you guys so much for everything you do, and you have a great day.
Thanks. Appreciate it. I want to say this is Deron Bland's third year. So maybe I'm missing that. I don't believe he's in a contract year just yet. I think they can start looking at it at the end of this season. But I believe this is his third year. So he had 5 interceptions. He had 5 interceptions his first year, and then he had 9 last year, which there's only 3 players in Cowboys history that have had 14 interceptions in the first 2 seasons of their career. And Everson Walls was one. Everson Walls had more than that. And Diggs had 14, and then Bland also 14. But you can say, yeah, they can't catch a break, or maybe they've caught a few. The fact that they've drafted so well. They had a second-round pick in Trayvon Diggs, and he, led the league in interceptions with 11. They had a fifth-round pick in Deron Bland, and he's led the league in interceptions his second year. So that they've drafted well. They've developed better than that, Al Harris being a part of it. So I think that's kind of why they're confident in a guy like Kalen Carson. But, yeah, I hear your point. You're like, I want them all. I want them all healthy, all there together. And if that does happen, and if Carson is developed and does well, and I think going back to the first caller of the whole show, Jeremy in Salt Lake City, he said it's a blessing in disguise. If Kalen Carson plays really well and he can hold his own, and then Bland comes back and he plays well, and Diggs is now 100%, and they've got those three plus Jordan Lewis, and they are really rolling at cornerback, then yeah, you can say that was a blessing in disguise. It's too early to do that, knowing that you've got some really tough matchups going on, and you've got guys that have never played down in the NFL yet. So that's why it's tough for me to go there. Jonathan in Fullerton, California. Jonathan.
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to say it was really nice meeting you. I don't know if you remember the very first Saturday of Cowboys training camp in Oxnard. I got a chance to shake your hand and meet you, and it was really cool.
Yep.
Nice to say hi and put a face to the name.
Yeah.
But just a couple of things. I wanted to know what is like the two situations between Cooper Beebe getting the starting center job or Brock Hoffman getting the center job. Where does that place the other person? So if Cooper gets it, is Brock Hoffman just like they're going to put him somewhere else on the line, or is he just going to be the backup or maybe swing something?
Jonathan,
I don't know.
Jonathan, did you watch the last preseason game?
No, I missed it.
Okay, that's good because it's hard to watch some of these games, especially from out of state. I'll just tell you this: Brock Hoffman played pretty well at center last preseason game. Cooper Beebe did not play. Any question about who's starting, that was the answer. Cooper Beebe's your starting center as it stands right now. He's the starter. He got the day off. He didn't play. So the decision has been made. Now, is it a final decision? No. If you don't play well, they could switch it back. But I'm just saying, as of right now, looks like Cooper Beebe's your starter. Brock Hoffman will probably be your game day backup because he's played both center and guard. So he's probably more of a backup than you would have at T.J. Bass. If you have to be one or the other, it would be Hoffman, I would think, because Hoffman could give you more backup roles. But it might be both of them as game day actives. So
okay,
all right.
And one more question. With the whole Trey Lance thing, like I don't know if we really settled on where we're at with him, but he's still on the roster for a year. Would it benefit us if we think that we still have like hope in developing him? Can you think we can sign him to a contract extension at a pretty lower price since he is still the third string, or would we like there's not really a good option to try and get him at a low price for an extended contract for to give us time to develop him and stuff?
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the call. It's, again, like I said before, such a tough dilemma. I hear what you're saying, but you got to remember just how they're going to be up against it even more on the salary cap next year. What kind of contract extension are you going to, or is he going to accept and take? And then if that's the case, what if he's not good enough to be your backup? You're paying this guy for a third quarterback. I mean, they don't even know who their starter is going to be next year because they haven't gotten Dak signed yet. So I think it's got to go in order. I think you have to figure out who your starter is going to be. It's not going to be Trey Lance. I don't believe he's going to. When is he going to develop into that? I'm not even sure he's going to develop into the backup role. So I think it's got to just go in order. I know everyone's trying to rush it, but it probably doesn't make a lot of sense to do that. Let me take a quick break here, and we'll come right back. We got Rob in Vegas on the line, so we'll take a quick break.
Are you the 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year? The Dallas Cowboys and Captain Morgan are celebrating extraordinary, inspiring, and original fans. Nominate yourself or the biggest Cowboys fan you know for a chance to be named the 2024 Fan of the Year and win prizes, including a trip to Super Bowl 59. Visit DallasCowboys.com/Fan of the Year. Go Cowboys!
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Check out the Jerry Jones Classic presented by Whataburger on Saturday, August 31st at 2 p.m. Central. North Crowley Panthers takes on Lancaster Tigers. It will clash for the first time in over 20 seasons. Tickets on sale now at SeatGeek.com starting at $15. Jerry Jones Classic at the Star in Frisco at Ford Center in Frisco. All right, let's go to Rob in Vegas. Rob, what's up, man?
Hey, Nick. Here we go.
Ready?
I'm ready, baby.
Rob,
so, you know,
what was your prediction on CeeDee Lamb's contract?
$34 million
per year.
Per year. And I mean,
Are you an agent?
No, but it just makes, to me, the deal should have been done only because.
Okay.
With the start.
Cool. Good job. You got it. So, okay, because we're in a what have you done for me lately? So now just tell me what the Dak deal is going to be. If you got that one, just what's the Dak deal going to be? 58?
58.
I think that sounds good to me. 58.
I said about 58.
Good job. You did call that one. Rob, what else you got?
Well, we're talking about Trey Lance, and I agree. You know, I didn't watch the game till Sunday, and my storyline peeps, I kind of glanced and, you know, I didn't want to really find out what was happening, but I see 5 interceptions. I'm like, oh, my God. When I watched the game, I thought it was the best game he played. I know he had the 5 picks, but he made plays.
Yep.
I
know.
Threw the ball.
Yeah. I had a hard time putting him on that Game Breakers article, because he definitely changed the game for both teams. But, yeah. He's tough to evaluate.
I think the deal right now is, first of all, I don't think he's going to be back with the Cowboys next year because we all see the talent, and he's only 24. And why would he want to be a backup? If I'm him and his agent, I'm going to want to go to a team where he could compete for the starting job, and if they sign Dak, that's not happening.
Right.
So I think best case scenario right now is get on the phone with the New York Jets. They got a really good running back room. They have 3 good backs. They have a 40-year-old quarterback that may be in his last year, and see if you could trade Lance and maybe something else for one of these backs. You got they got Breece Hall. They got this rookie that everybody's talking about, Abanaconda. And they got Braylon Allen. To me, get on the phone because I just don't think if I'm Trey Lance, and let's face it, when you got that kind of ego, which every quarterback should have, he doesn't want to be a backup. He's going to want to try to start. You try to be a backup at 30 when you're in your 30s, not at 24. So I just think the Cowboys are going to end up developing for somebody else if they keep, developing him through the year, and he leaves. Try to get something from him now, because you're right. We don't even know if right now he's not even the second best player. I would keep him on the team over Cooper Rush only because I look at it as, God forbid, Dak goes down like for the year. The season's over anyway. But my feeling is Cooper Rush is a better guy if I need somebody to come in for a couple of games.
Right.
But I would try to trade him right now. Get on the phone with the Jets and see what you can do because I think you're going to lose him. And somebody's talking about bell cow running backs. there's only like 1 or 2 in the league. Those days are over.
Yeah.
And this is a passing team. You just dropped $34 million a year on a wide receiver. You're not running the ball 35 times a game. This is not what we do. Dak is a really, really good quarterback. Led the league last year, touchdowns. All we need is 75 to 100 yards. How you get it, who gets it, how many guys get it, it don't really matter. So I don't think Cook's off. I don't think he could pull a running back off the couch and he could do anything. I think he has to be in shape. Somebody you have to trade to somebody who's been in training camp all year. And I just think the Jets make the most sense right now. If you could shop Trey Lance to them.
All right, that sounds good. All right, good stuff. You've been right before, so yeah. All right, Rob, appreciate it. Thanks for the call and the insight there. Yeah, I agree with you about. I don't know if Dalvin Cook is. I don't think that's the answer. At least not right now. And they're not asking anybody to come off the couch and be your starting running back. And if you look at his stats, just go look at the stats in the last few years. I mean, it's not. I mean, he hasn't been as good as Zeke, honestly. So the numbers are about the same, if not favor Zeke a little bit more. Plus, like Rob said, he's been in camp. So, this would just be a look-see type thing, and maybe they want to just do it for insurance. Trading Trey Lance, it seems like the value would be tough after a 5-interception game. But you got to have the vision, and you got to see that, and maybe the Cowboys are doing that, looking and seeing what they could get for him. It's kind of what the 49ers did last year. They played him for most of the preseason. They had him at camp preseason. When it was over, they decided to trade him. Maybe the Cowboys are doing the same. Who knows? I don't think so. I think he's going to be on the team this year. But again, when it comes to figuring out next year's quarterback, I think it starts at the top. You got to figure that out. Once that domino drops, then I think it'll be good for everybody. All right. I'm going to get out of here. We've got Cowboys Break is joining us next. They'll be here to talk about all the stuff going on here. And we got the practice tonight at the Star, Cowboys night at the Star and at Ford Center. We've got cuts coming on here later this afternoon. And who knows what else could happen. We could be signing someone else. Who knows? All right. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you on Thursday on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?